Look, if you're between 25 and 35, I want to talk to you about how your life is going to change from now on. Believe me, there are things that will happen to you and seasons that will come that no one prepares you for. I'm 41 now. I've lived in 3 different countries. I've started and finished the businesses. I help people find purpose. And this kind of conversation is one of the conversations I have the most with my clients and friends. The things that no one prepares us for. Look, maybe this is a problem that you're facing right now. You're really good at something. You're specializing. You have this ability to innovate. Everything is new, and people admire you for this innovation that you have inside. But as you grow old, you will lose that ability to innovate. You will lose that ability to answer questions quickly and to solve problems and to start something new. Some people think it's a midlife crisis, and some people think it's just life. But then when you cross that barrier of 37, 38, 40, it feels like everything is dull. And what you were good at before, you've seen this before in sports and in different areas. People want to continue to do what they're doing just harder, and they just get frustrated because the body doesn't respond just the same. Trust me, I practice Jiu Jitsu, and my body is not the same that it was when I was 20. If I get hurt now, it takes a long time to recover. So I understand that our minds, sometimes it moves faster than our body. But there is a name for this. Science has discovered this name for this thing that happens to us when we cross 40. It's not midlife crisis, and it's not a problem that you have. We all go through that. It's the curve of intelligences. Have you ever heard about that before? Have you ever seen this before? This is fairly new. Not many people have seen this. It's part of the things that I study when I help people find purpose and navigate through life. But the curve of intelligences, between your 30s and 40s, let's just give it a decade, you kind of grow cold in the innovation side of things. And that is because before you're 40, let's just put the number there, 40 years old. Before you're 40, you have what the scientists call fluid intelligence. You're quick to answer. You can solve problems. You can innovate. You can start something, and it's fresh in your mind. The brain is still forming the pathways through which information goes by. They say the human brain develops to full maturity until you're about 25. So you have a good 10 years of experience, so 10 years of information coming in to form your pathways after you're 25. That's why I started the series saying if you're between 25 and 35, because that's the season where the pathways are going to be formed, and then you're going to experience all this. And then, if you become if you become a specialist on any area, by the time you get to 40, you realize that changes. And what changes is not your abilities, but what changes is how those abilities will affect you. Let me expand this to you. Fluid intelligence is this thing that you're good on your own. It's not much of a team effort play. You just can do things on your own. You start a new job, they give you a day of instructions, and the next day you're the best at what you do. That's fluid intelligence. It's literally, the name says it all. It's fluid. It goes all over the place. You can learn new things, you can innovate. By the time you cross 40, you turn into this, or the curve turns into what they call crystallized intelligence. So what's crystallized intelligence? It's the accumulation of all those pathways and neurons and whatever happens in your brain. The accumulation of all those things with pathways that have been formed to facilitate the circulation of information. It crystallizes, kind of like we can talk about in nature what a crystallization of a cocoon is, for example. It's fixed, it's formed, and it feels like if you don't know how to articulate, or if you don't know how to behave in that situation, what it feels like is that you're losing your game. If you're an athlete, it feels like you're losing your game. If you're a top performer, artistic, or even if you're an engineer or a doctor, it feels like you're losing your game. You used to go to work and you love what you do, like you're a doctor or a teacher, but then now you go to work and it's just dull. It's just, because how you use your abilities has to change because your intelligence has changed. The curve on the intelligence has changed. It's almost like, I have a whiteboard there I could show you, but it's almost like you grow from your 20s to 30s, or maybe from your teenage years to your late 30s. you're exponentially growing your fluid intelligence. You're learning a lot of things. And I've said this before in many other videos of mine. You have seasons of life. And this kind of matches, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and 60 onwards. So from 20 to 30, you're supposed to try everything. Why? Because you have fluid intelligence. So you can learn different things. Once you get to 40, you're becoming you're becoming a specialist. The intelligence crystallizes, and now everything that you know needs to be used to pass on, and you perform better on a team. So I'll give you an example. One of the things that I do is teach people spirituality, faith, Bible. And I can preach, and I love preaching, and I love communicating. But I feel more energized now when I see people that I have taught principles, how to speak in public, how to put together a sermon, how to understand different kind of genres. And when they are presenting, I go like, wow. Just last week, man, I had one of my friends who came for help, and I helped him build the message that he was going to preach. What a pleasure there was, because now crystallized intelligence, I'm 41, is starting to kick in, starting to take place. So I can't feel frustrated because I don't perform as well. In Jiu Jitsu, we call it old man Jiu Jitsu. Young man Jiu Jitsu, you just go in, do all the fancy stuff, and then you just go under people and rotate and all of that. You try to do that when you're 40, you break a rib. Trust me, guilty. I've broken a rib in less than a year. I've torn a ligament. So I know what I'm talking about. But old man Jiu-Jitsu is all of those movements and combinations all crystallized into this maybe 4 or 5 movements that you really know, that you can go slow, that you can find your pace, and you can show others. It's replicable, it's teachable. And the same thing applies to your life, to your relationships. You're good at solving things on the fly when you're young, but now it takes time to have conversations and to consider dialogues, consider everything around you, everyone around you. You've got kids and all of that. So I decided to record this video to inspire the young cats that might be watching this. If you're 25 to 35, things are going to change. Don't get discouraged. Don't get frustrated. They're going to change not because you've lost your game, but because the curve is changing, and you need to understand. If you understand that now, you will be prepared. So you will live the seasons. Like I said, 20, 30, 40, 50s, and 60s. You live the seasons accordingly, and you will bear fruit, and you will reap as much fruit as you can from each season. Like I said, I help people find purpose and navigate through these seasons of life, like through work or relationships. Or at the end of the day, it's all about helping people find a joyful, fulfilled life. Happy people practice 4 things every day. I don't know if you knew this, but they practice their faith. They spend time with their families, they spend time with their friends, and they understand well their function or work. And that's what I do. In these 4 areas, I help people find the balance, the equilibrium, and I help people do what they love. So when they wake up in the morning, there is a sense of meaning in their lives. And I'm going to hold a live workshop in less than 30 days. So there's a link in the description of this video, and you can register for it. It's free. I'm going to give away everything that I know. I've written a book about how to help people find purpose in life. It's called Ikigai. This book has turned into many different things, a workshop, a masterclass, a mentorship program. We call it the 3M, the message, the method, and the mentorship program. We're going to talk about all this on this live workshop. Okay, it's going to be free for a couple of hours, and I'm just going to give it all. I'm going to give as much as I can in 2 hours about how to find purpose in life and start something afresh. Maybe it's time for you to quit the job. Maybe it's time for you to start something new, or maybe you just want to explore your options. Whatever the case may be, the link is in the description below. You can click it. It's free to register, and I'll see you in less than 30 days. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want. You can participate, share with your friends, but make sure you come back if you subscribe to the channel, because there's so many videos that are so good about these things that will help you navigate life accordingly, including this one that talks about seasons in your life. You should check this out. I'm out.